Good morning, everyone. We are going to. Good morning. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started with this session. The Crazy Train session is in midway 5. This is the. I'm just kidding. This is the. You didn't get. You just got it, didn't you? Glad you're here. We're going to be talking about wellness and employee mental health. In this session, we're going to be led by wonderful presenters today. Presenting first will be Barry Green from St. Louis Community College. And then we're going to go down the road and hear from Ozarks Technical Community College with Oki House and Jane Cowden. So if you will please give them a round of applause as we get started.
Good morning, everyone. Like you said, my name is Barry Green. I'm the Health and Wellness Specialist for St. Louis Community College. And one of the first things that I want to do for you guys, because this session here is about mindfulness, is I want you guys to go ahead and push yourself back away from your desk right now, because I want you guys to be present and I want you to be in the moment, because this is one of the things that we do teach over at St. Louis Community College, okay? So the first thing that I want you guys to first initiate is a breathing technique of pushing out your breath. So what I want you guys to do is to take your tongue and to put it up to the roof of your mouth and then to exhale. It'll be like a hissing type of a sound, right? All right, perfect. So that's what I want you guys to use when I say to blow out your breath, all right? So the first thing that we're going to do, I want you guys to go ahead and just blow all your breath out. Then I want you to inhale through your nose. Hold it, and now blow it out through your mouth. All right, now we got that practice under control. Now what I want you guys to do is we're going to do it to an actual count, okay? So the first thing I want you guys to do is, again, to exhale. And then once we exhale, we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. The hold is going to be for 7 seconds, and then we're going to blow out for 8 seconds, all right? I'm going to count them all for you guys, all right? So here we go. First, blow out. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. I didn't give you guys a lot of cadence on that because I wanted to see you guys kind of go through your own program struggle, right? So now I'm going to give you guys a little bit more guidance with that. Now you see through that 8 seconds, I have to do what? I have to pace myself. I can't just blow all my breath out in the first 4 seconds, okay? So we're going to go through that again. When you are inhaling your breath, make sure that you're giving yourself that lung capacity to be able to go slowly in so you can be able to get all 7 of those seconds in, okay? So this is going to be the last one for you guys. So go ahead and blow your breath out one more time. All right, inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what I want you guys to do is go ahead and close your eyes, and I want you to be in the moment. I want you to take the time and the opportunity to think about how blessed you are today. Think about how grateful you are to be able to wake up and to attend this session. Think about, hey, I put on some clothes. Think about the texture of those clothes. Think about that perfume or the cologne that you put on this morning, right? We're thankful for all of those different breaths. Be mindful in that moment, all right? Be mindful that we can hear, we can talk, we can speak. We can go out and taste some of this good food later on. Now I want you guys to go ahead and open your eyes. All right? So this session right there, you can go through at your desk, you can go through in the morning times, but it's an opportunity throughout the day for you guys to just take a moment, step away from those desks, and to have a good mindful session while you're at work, okay? So again, while we're taking those breaths, one of the main things that we do is we don't take that opportunity to have that mindful moment. So that's why once we got through going through those breathing techniques, I made sure that you guys had an opportunity to be able to reflect, okay? So we don't just want to go through breaths and say that, hey, we're going through a mindfulness event. We want to make sure that we actually take the time to think through what are we being mindful of, what are we being grateful of, what are we being blessed about, okay? So mindfulness. All right, the basic human ability to fully be present, aware, and where are we right now, all right? The one thing that we don't want to do is to be overwhelmed by what's going around us, okay? So that's why we have to take those moments, breathe, take a moment to be in that moment and think about, hey, what is it that we want to do, all right? All right, mindfulness milestones. So first thing we want to do is to be present, okay? We talked about focusing in on what our goals are, what it is that we want to do, engage, okay? We have to engage inside of those thoughts, understand exactly what it is that we are trying to push forward, and then we want to relieve that stress. So as we're going through those breathing techniques, that's giving our body that opportunity to be able to get tense and then to go through those relaxations. And what that does is it allow our body to have that proprioceptiveness to be able to contract and release some of that stress, because we hold a lot of that in our shoulders and our upper body, okay? Being grateful. We talked about reflection earlier in that first little exercise, okay? So using that moment to be able to reflect on all of those things throughout our lives or throughout the day, or those things that we need to be able to accomplish. Appreciate now, okay? Being here inside of that moment, all right? There's one thing that we don't always do. We always look for goals forward. We kind of look back and see what of our past or regressions are, but we can be present in our moment and understand that, hey, we are accomplishing our goals, we are getting to where we need to go, and we need to make sure that we are appreciating that, all right? And enjoy that, all right? We have to celebrate those victories, those wins, all right? At St. Louis Community College, one of the things that we try to do when we have different type of challenges is we try to reward those participants for most of those things, because all it does is try to give them that extra pat on the back of, hey, you are doing something that is positive for your life and is going to help you be beneficial not only in your life, but here at St. Louis Community College to be able to get the best production out of you as an employee. Be proud. Praise others. One thing that we have access to is our Teams board. With inside Teams, they have a lot of different options with inside there. You can send out different badges and say, hey, I'm thankful for this person helping me out on this project. We want to make sure that we utilize those different technologies and those tools to be able to reach out, pat someone on the back, and let them know that we are appreciative of our work. Because sometimes we can get in our silos and we can get to working and heads down doing our work, and we don't let the next person know that, like, hey, I know this is just part of the normal function sometimes, but I'm appreciative of you giving me that opportunity to be here right now and make sure that our tasks and our goals are accomplished, all right? And acknowledge the success, again, just all around, making sure that we're keeping everyone with good knowledge, making sure that we are giving them all the backing that we need to make sure that they understand that, hey, we are here with them and that we are all accomplishing our goals at once, all right? So mindfulness milestones, no pressure. Here are a couple of quotes that say, you cannot have a positive life and a negative mind, okay? You have to think about that. Can your mind be in a negative place and you produce positive type of actions, okay? So that means that you have to take your mind first and start putting yourself in that positive type of atmosphere, so that way that you can be able to start pursuing all type of positiveness in your life, okay? I woke up and realized life is great and people are awesome and life is worth living. All right, the first thing that does, I like in that statement, is I woke up, okay? When you wake up in the morning, you have to choose, okay? We have a choice, okay? So you can either choose to come into work and have a bad attitude and not be grateful for what you have accomplished for the day, or that you are just waking up in the morning time, or you can choose to be grateful for some of those things. So let's check the boxes, okay? I know we come up against a lot of different barriers throughout life, but if we can look at some of those small accomplishments, that can give us that little oomph to be able to make it throughout that day. You know, put a smile on your face and hop up out the bed and have a good day. Okay? How to maintain, all right? Keep a good routine, all right? I can't stress to you guys enough about setting yourself up in a routine, all right? We're not saying that you have to set up 10-year goals, 5-year goals, or whatever it may be, but the one thing that we want you guys to do is to be able to get yourself into a pattern that you know is going to keep you on task, right? So you know that, like, hey, if I wake up in the morning time and I hop on my phone and that makes me take an extra hour and I can't get to work on time, or I can't get the kids off to school, all right, then maybe I need to put that off to the side and I need to take my mindfulness and put it into somewhere that's going to be able to give me more production, okay? So what is that routine is now going to look like? It's going to look different for everyone, okay? The next thing, get a good night's sleep, okay? Everyone always throw out, oh man, get 8 hours of sleep, get 10 hours of sleep. All of that is fine and dandy as far as making sure that you get the appropriate amount of hours, okay? But the one thing that you have to do is make sure that you're getting good sleep. How do we get good sleep? Turning off that television, turning off those electronics, so that way we can start winding down, so we can start making a presence of telling our body, it's time to shut down. It's time to relax, okay? So if you get rid of that white light, it's the same thing with being in front of the computer screen. I know most of us in front of the computer screen 8-10 hours a day, right? So there's no reason once we go home, hey, let's add some more white light to us. So we want to break some of that up, all right? Monotony. Get outside, enjoy it. Enjoy the sunshine, okay? And then once it's time for that sleep, shut everything off, get yourself into that room, create that routine of what nighttime looks like, whether if it's bath, whether if it's reading a book, okay? Whether if it's, getting you some tranquil smells and getting a sound machine in, because I definitely love that white noise, and soothe yourself right to sleep, okay? Spend time outside. So like I was just preaching there, make sure that you guys get outside, get some of that vitamin D, get the air. I know it's a little bit cold outside, but that's okay. Let that cold, brisk air hit your face and you get a good deep breath in, because one thing that we don't realize is a lot of the toxins that are in the air that's holding nice and sweaty throughout those summer times, when we have that crisp air in the summertime, is good breathing. So make sure you get outside and fill those lungs up with some of that good air, okay? Stay connected with friends and family. Oh man, we just had Thanksgiving, right? So I'm pretty sure everybody is full and loved, right? All right? Not so much, huh? You didn't have a good time with family? Come on. Football games on, eating around the table. We got the kids running around. Good times, man. Those are those opportunities to where you get to connect with your friends. You get to have that opportunity to be able to feel loved, okay? Because everyone needs to feel loved at some point in time, and especially with your interior crew, your main group of friends, all right? Get out, enjoy yourself. It can be just as small as you guys getting on the phone and, having a good cackle. Or it can be, you guys getting together and reading books or whatever it may be, or going out and having a bonding experience at a sporting event, or, any type of concert or whatever it may be. But get out and make sure that you guys incorporate those connections. With inside of the workplace, stay out of those silos. Get out, walk around. People don't understand, hey, it may be a restroom that is 10 feet away from your office, but if you take a loop around to the other side, you might bump into, Judy that's, you've never seen before, that's, work and maintenance or whatever it may be. Pop up a nice conversation. So now we creating those connections. So now it's just like, oh, I'm going back to the job. Now you're going into work, and hey, you might bump into Judy, and you guys can have that good connection, all right? Don't obsess over the news, okay? The news, man, you cut that news on in the morning time. Like you said, sometimes you got to pick that routine. When that news come in, they hit us with a lot of negative information, right? But one of the things we do like to do is to make sure that we stand abreast. But make sure when you're taking that news, you're kind of taking it as, hey, just as a fact of what's going on, but not to get bought into emotional-wise so much, all right? Especially with Facebook, too. So I want you guys to realize that. It's not just coming from television. It's on all of your social media. So you're going to get all different types of information. So sometimes you have to be strategy-wise picking what is it information-wise that I want to receive. So sometimes you have to go through delete or put in filters to make sure that you are getting some good information that you would like to receive, okay? Practice positivity and gratitude, okay? That is another big thing that I like to preach. Man, if you can stay positive, like I said, if you choose that attitude when you first wake up in the morning time, it gives you a leg up on the competition as far as being productive and more positive throughout your day. Like I said, I can't stress enough of having that positive attitude, and then that gratitude to be able to understand that, like, hey, I am grateful for where I'm at. I am grateful for the position that I have. I am grateful to be able to provide a service to the employees, and find service and gratitude within that. All right, at St. Louis Community College, like I said, I'm the health and wellness specialist. So one of the things that we try to do is we try to incorporate a lot of different programs and challenges for our employees throughout the year. So one of the things that we do is a virtual mental health challenge, and that's normally during Mental Health Month, and that allows participants to be able to check in on a daily basis to say, like, hey, how are you feeling? And it gives you different types of things that you can do to be able to help with that. So let's say, like, hey, today I checked, I have a little bit of anxiety. okay, well, here are some different techniques to help you with anxiety. And those things kind of help individuals make it throughout their day, all right? Stress management sessions, we always stress utilizing our employee assistance program, PASS, because it gives them a great opportunity to be able to go in and utilize a call-in session. We also have EM Life, which is an online tool that we allow them to have access to free, all the full-time employees, and that's just like the Calm app. But they have on-demand sessions for individuals. So you're talking about as small as 14-minute sessions for individuals to check in and go through breathing techniques or go through any type of meditation or whatever it may be. All of the other ones that say preventing burnout, healthy eating. So let's say we put on different type of programs, let's say for burnout. So let's say we have a seminar talking about different type of structures for you guys to be able to utilize throughout your workday. Eating healthy, you're talking about bringing in the clinic to be able to come in and put on cooking sessions, showing individuals what is healthy or different things to be able to substitute that are more healthy to be able to increase productivity, okay? We have an event that'll be coming up next week, which is our wellness pop-up. With inside of that wellness pop-up, we partner with MyoCare, and that allowed us an opportunity to provide massage chair sessions for individuals throughout the day. We're also going to have some different refreshments, some coloring for them, and well as puzzles to kind of just give them a moment to be able to break away from the monotony of the day and kind of use that as an opportunity to let the mind be free, to color and all of those different types of things. So those are good stress relieving opportunities that they will have at the event next week. And then again, Money Matters. I know people saying like, hey, why would you have Money Matters on there? Money Matters is a session that was put on through PASS, but what that allows individuals to do is to have them access to financial literacy. So we also partner with Prudential and then also Regions Bank to also put on different financial literacy classes, because again, one of the things that we're trying to do is to cut down any type of barrier that may lead to stress within inside of the workplace. So within the past few years, we know financial stresses has become a big thing. So one of the things that we want to do is make sure that individuals are, one, prepared for whatever type of hurdle they may come to them. So they could be going into, future retirement. That can be, hey, a loss of a job within inside of the household. They can be taking on senior living costs or whatever it may be, okay? And then down at the end, preventative care sessions. Those sessions were put on by the health and wellness team to go around the campus just to make sure that everyone understood exactly what type of benefits that they had to them. Also making sure that they understood exactly what some of the surcharges were possibly be adhered to them if they didn't, adhere to certain guidelines. And so just getting them abreast of a lot of that knowledge and taking down a lot of those anxieties of not knowing how to go through certain procedures. And so if you guys can do some of those things, those are things that I definitely encourage to be able to cut down on those barriers to lead to successful stress management. All right. And now I'll kick it over to my team from the Ozarks. All right.
Okay, my name is Oki Haas, and I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer at OTC. And my co-presenter is Jane Cowden. Am I saying your last name correctly? Yes. Okay. You may ask, well, first of all, who can guess where we got the title of our presentation? And if you're from OTC, please restrain from answering the question, because I have a prize for someone who can guess. Glide on the peace train. Any guesses?
We're from OTC, but we don't know. Can we guess?
Yes, you can guess. Is there any Cat Stevens fans?
Yeah, it's a great song.
This is all.
It's a song. It's a song. Anyway, I didn't get any guesses, but Joan, if you don't have a book, you can choose one of these books as a prize.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but everybody knows that song, right? Right on the Beach Train? There's more than one version.
decided that this would be a good title for our presentation. As a nation, I think we're off track a little bit. And these are some of just the very brief statistics. But according to the National Center for Health Statistics, there was a suicide increase of 35% between 1999 and 2018. And I do not have the 2020 data, but I think it increased even more. So if you were to check out the National Suicide Crisis website, you know, it would drill down to just very disheartening data about how our nation is off track in mental health. And Kaiser Family Foundation poll from 2022 found that 90% of adults in the U.S. believe that the country is experiencing a mental health crisis. An increasing number of young people are being diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and we have seen that on our student side. So you're well aware of that. And during a pandemic crisis, we saw the rise in mental health crisis pretty much everywhere, but in educational environment like we are in, we have seen the increase, and our leaders began to talk about mental health more so than any time before. We had a great opportunity at the beginning of 2022 to apply for a grant through Rural Health in Springfield. And it was sponsored by SAMHSA, and SAMHSA stands for basically Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. And they do a great work, and they're involved in so many ways to promote mental health and suicide prevention. So we had this opportunity, and we jumped on board because, you know, they were giving $10,000 if we were to sign on and engage in activities throughout the year to meet some of the goals that we set up, and with some of the goals that they gave us. And basically what it was is to promote mental health and suicide prevention among employees. And we said, that's wonderful. So we got on board. And I brought several campus leaders together, like our own Daniel, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director, our Veterans Upper Bound Director, Project HEAL Coordinator, and I'm trying to think who else was involved. Oh, our Disability Services Counselor. We brought several leaders together, and we said, we have this grant. What can we do to promote mental health activities on campus? And they were just wonderful to work with, and we just enjoyed so much working together and planning activities and programs. So basically, the one stands, and that was the theme. One, it is an idea that it takes one person caring, listening with intent, asking the right questions, persuading and referring them to the resources that are available to save a life. And we felt like that was a worthy cause to get on board to do that. And here were the goals that we set up for us, which we met, all of them. Provide, question, persuade, refer, which is called QPR training. We had over 89 faculty and staff who participated in the training. And even though the focus of the grant was for employees, faculty and staff, and not students, by promoting this training with our faculty and staff, we felt like our students would be benefiting as a byproduct of the training. Provide monthly professional development opportunities related to suicide prevention and mental health. We have a college development calendar that's on our website that HR maintains for staff side. We have a faculty side that called Institution for Academic Excellence. They maintain the faculty side of the development, but we also share that same calendar for staff development. So we were able to put monthly professional development opportunities, and we pulled those resources from our EAP services and other sources to put on those monthly programs. So we were able to do that. And then we also wanted to do a book study. And these were the couple books that we chose. The Shame of Me by Ryan Lefevre. He's a sports broadcaster from Kansas City Royals. And then, of course, you are all aware of who Robin Williams is. When the Laughter Dies. When the Laughter Stops. Anyway, so we chose these two books to do a book study. And I have several members of our facilitators are in this room. Dr. Griffith from our Table Rock campus, and Joyce, who is our Dean of Students. And we had faculty members who participated, which Carrie Huff, she's our instructor, education instructor, and she was part of that facilitator, and as well as Jane, who participated. But anyway, the engagement that we saw were fantastic. And so, and we'll share more of that with you in just a little bit. But, so we decided to do that as part of our goal. And then engage with experts in the field to provide information and promote awareness to OTC employees. We brought in nutrition experts who share with us how food that we eat affects our mental health. And we had our director of security provide gun safety class, why that is so crucial in related to mental health. And I'm trying to think who else that we had. But we brought in this veterans service, provided a presenter who came in and talked about veterans and the suicide and mental health. So it was wonderful. And I'm going to now turn it over to Jane, who is going to share with you from the participant perspective of what she saw.
So these are some of the programs that were offered, and you can see there's something for almost anyone on your campus, lots of different interests. One that I didn't get to attend and wish I had is the art therapy classes, but as I was looking through the comments, that was something that I can't draw, right? And so I was intimidated, but so many people went to that, and whether they could draw or not, they had a great time. So things like the African American Heritage Trail, so incorporating things within our community also to engage as many employees as possible. So when you think about a book group, right? How many of you are in a book group? Okay, yeah, so what do you usually do? Don't usually talk a lot about mental health issues, right? So one of the things that Carrie did at each book club meeting was have an activity that addressed issues related in the book or related to the content of the book. So both the books talk about the early experiences of the subjects. And so one of the things that Carrie did was pass out an ACE inventory. How many of you are familiar with ACE? So the ACE stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. And just by passing those out, we didn't have people talk about race scores, but it gave them the opportunity to think about race scores and relate that to their own mental health and physical health issues. This YouTube link is for the Nadine Burke-Harris TED Talk. Anybody seen that? That is a wonderful way to introduce yourself to ACE. And then the other link is to an article about the ACE studies. So Oki did a really good job of talking about the goals that we had and us meeting those goals. We found out that 78% of employees who participated agreed that they were more aware of mental health resources. particularly for employees that were related to our campus, which is really important. 90% said that they had a positive, the experiences had positive impact on their attitudes about mental health. But the really surprising thing, the goal that we met that we didn't know we had, was that employees who participated in the program reported feeling a stronger connection with coworkers and college. So I was talking to Oki earlier about how just as a faculty member, having an initiative like this come from our HR department, from the college, said to me, wow, my college really cares about my mental health and where I am, right? And so we have experts from our college in mental health. And we know we have those people here, and when I've had students who have struggled, I really knew where to go, right? But it was really nice to be able to talk to other employees and have support in the community of the college, and also know what resources were available to me. Oki attended several of the sessions that I was in, and I know that you went to several of the other sessions. So it was really nice for people to see our HR professional there as a person talking to us about issues that are important to us as employees. So these are some of the comments that we had from employees who participated. So I've been hanging out with Oki a lot this weekend, right? Or sorry, it's not a weekend. I've been having so much fun. But when people say, well, what do you guys work? And she says that she is the HR director, right? And then I say, I'm an English instructor. They go, ooh, how many problems does this employee have, right? Just to hang out with the HR director. So we often get siloed, right? I hang out with mostly faculty. And I don't get a lot of opportunities to be with other people who work there, especially staff who are so important in the service to our students, right? So I used to work in industry, and we would talk about product contact services, right? And it had to be really clean. But the faculty and staff, are the student contact services, right? So it's really nice to me to be able to say to my students, hey, I know this person who is on the staff in financial aid or in counseling, and they're really nice, and they will listen to you, and to have a name and a face that I can put them to. Really valuing the time with the group. This came up time and time again, just those connections that people made. Giving up time, I mean, it's a lunch hour activity. People give up their lunch hours to come and talk about these issues with their fellow employees, and a deeper connection. So here are some things that we learned. Lots and lots of things went well, right? Relationship building, big. Interest in reading. So in the big group I was in, did you do the big group, Rob? So we had people that said, hey, I would like some other ideas for books. Yeah, so we're able to say, ooh, here are some other books that you can read. People are still going on walks that they started during lunch hour, the lunch hour walks. And then connecting people to support. I think maybe that's one of the most important things, right? Better understanding of factors impacting mental health, physical, emotional, social, and spiritual. So opportunities for next time. So Joan, when you pick a book, I urge you to pick this one. This one is, I'm an English teacher. Have any ever read a paper that somebody wrote maybe a few hours before they had to turn it in?
Or have written one.
It's a good book that tells the story of Robin Williams,
Yes.
but is not well written. So there you go.
We had an amazing number of people participating in an activity. As you all know, it's hard to get people to participate in things that they don't have to, right? So, yes.
Just a comment about book selection. In terms of people engaging and feeling close to each other and talking about mental health, it struck me about halfway through the Robin Williams book group. I was leading a session by Zoom. The more people complain about the book because it doesn't correspond to their sense of Robin Williams, their sense of how a book should be written, or their sense of what mental health struggles actually like, the more they're uniting and sharing. I mean, I think the group was stronger because they had the book to complain about. And then people would say, this doesn't feel right, here's what my experience has been like, if I can share that. And so that was a very sort of strangely bonding thing. That we would get together, you know, at regular intervals to laugh and complain about a book together. It was supposed to, it's moving around that way, certain purposes, I think.
Okay, so pick the worst books. We had in our group, and I thought it was actually really wonderful, we had adjuncts in our book group who came to both book groups. So they went through the first one, and they said, I was so excited to come back again. So in getting more adjuncts to participate is another goal. And then more involvement in the healthy activities. I think the walking, having more people engage in those is one of the goals. So I'm going to turn it back over to Oki, who is really the expert on this, and let her take questions.
I wouldn't consider myself expert, but we did, month of September is a suicide prevention month. So for that month, we did a 1-month walk, you know, with the one theme. And so we met, we had a lady who offered to lead that walk. So we met every Thursday at 1 o'clock and took a walk for half hour. And that group is still going because they, you know, connected and they felt like it was a great activity to keep it going. So, so this grant activity turned out just such a precious opportunity for us to engage with employees. And so there was a kind of a cry from everyone about, hey, is there any way, even though grant has ended this month, end of this month, what can we do to continue this engagement about mental health among employees and promote healthy activities? So we are thinking in the thinking stage of how we can do that. But in the back, you see a table with some materials. We, part of the grant was that we come up with promotional materials that we can give out to our employees, you know, resources, like a magnet with the numbers, that they crisis numbers that they can contact, brochure with just pertinent information. So we put together all that, and even a button. So you guys are welcome to take one of those as you leave, and grab one of those Eagle squeezy, I don't know, it's not a ball, but it's a squeezy, a stress squeezy Eagle. But I want to leave with you this one statement from one of our employees that I feel like kind of sums up everything that we did. And it said, book club was really a highlight of my time working at OTC. I've been here in various positions for almost 10 years and hardly ever felt connected to my coworkers from other departments. This helped me so much. I feel like I made genuine connection within this group and look so forward to it. If I could do it every week, I think I would jump for joy. Absolute highlights of my getting to come to work is to sit down and just have time to discuss important topics with people in a judgment-free zone. Can't wait for the next one. I'm so thrilled to be part of this. And everyone in my group voiced the same feeling. So this was important to us, and we felt like it was a great opportunity. So we just wanted to share with you, and I think you guys, these were simple activities, and you guys can certainly do it at your institution. So I take a question if you have it.
I have one more thing just to add. And for any of you individuals that are higher ups in leadership, especially within side of HR, or they may have any type of let's say hands-on experience as far as like being able to push these type of programs, please offer them throughout your colleges. Please give your employees the time to be able to have the space to be able to go and do these activities, like she talked about, a 30-minute walk or having that 15-minute opportunity to be able to step away from the desk and have that mindfulness moment. Because one of the things that we see, especially not just because we're talking it, but we see in research, is that it really does help with the employees feeling more engaged with inside of their workplace. So again, I urge you guys to please give them and allow them that freedom, not just say it, but also live it and preach and walk that walk too as well. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
I was going to see if anybody had any questions. Any questions before
Any questions?
Dr. J plays us out? I don't know what this is over here, but it is one of the more impressive things that I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's just taking notes from what you guys are talking about. So it's a reflection of your conversation. Pictures that.
That is amazing. So no questions. Well, thank you all so much. I think it's lunchtime, right?
I don't know, but.
I imagine it.
Material.
Grab materials. I imagine the presenters will hang out for a little minute to talk. So thank you all.